What the fuck? Holy shit. God damn it. Wow. What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB. Adrenaline in my soul. I'm riding a fucking horse. Whoa. I am rethinking my whole strategy here. The plan was to watch all of these Tyler Perry movies that I hadn't already watched, and watching them so close together, I think it's making my brain mush. I think it's making me just sort of lose my mind just a little bit because I just got done watching Why Did I Get Married to? This is a 2010 film that was written, produced, and directed by, you guessed it, Tyler Perry. Now, I complained, and I talked about the first film and how over the top that was, how stereotypical ridiculousness that first movie was. That first movie is nothing compared to what I just saw. This sequel, Tyler Perry said, hold my beer, I'm gonna go all out and just not give a fuck. And I'm convinced that while he was writing this script, he was just sitting there, woohoo, bouncing off of the ceilings and the walls and jumping out the windows. I mean, this movie, just, if you were looking for some realism or let's see some good black actors actually have some nice, good material to work with, no, you get the trashiest ass shit that you could probably come to think of. Let's go through this cast and returning characters, shall we? What do you know? Tyler Perry is acting in this movie. So it's not enough that he's producing. It's not enough that he's directing. It's not enough that he wrote this bullshit. He needs to act in it as well. He plays Terry, who is still married to Diane. And Diane, played by Shannon Leal. And I will say this. What happens in their relationship, the emotional cheating stuff, I mean, I guess it can be interesting to dissect and talk about if you consider that to be real cheating or is it worse than cheating. The problem is that we don't spend enough time. That's the most tame thing going on in this film because we also have what I might say is the most annoying character in this film. Tasha Smith plays the wife of Michael Jai White. And in the first movie, she was annoying. She was loud. She was over the top. But she said, I'm coming back for the sequel. I am doubling down. No, I am quadrupling down on that level of loudness and annoyingness. Fuck me, man, if I had to sit here and watch her yell at Michael Jai White and accuse him of cheating, asking to go through his phone, asking for the password of his phone. There's one scene where her nosy ass fucking neighbor tells her that every Tuesday and Thursdays at noon, she hears sex noises coming out of their bedroom. Oh, she thinks her husband's cheating. And that becomes a whole thing where she goes to the man's job. Because now he works at like it's almost like an ESPN Sports Center type show, right? He's on the desk talking about sports with a bunch of other guys. And she shows up at the job on camera yelling at him. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much for anybody to deal with. It got to a point where I did not blame Michael Jai White. I didn't care if he was cheating. In fact, I wanted him to cheat on this woman so that this relationship can be done and over with. Fucking hell, man. The first movie ended with her coming around and saying she was going to appreciate him and saying she was going to change and treat him right. What happened here? Because she did not learn anything. Also, I fucked up in the first review when I was talking about Mike, the character Mike, Jill Scott's husband or now ex-husband. I accidentally said that he was played by Malik Yoba. That's all wrong. Malik Yoba plays the husband of Janet Jackson. So I just thought that they looked alike. I don't know. Mike is played by Richard T. Jones, and so I want to correct that first of all, right here, right now. But Mike showing up at the traditional coupling retreat vacation thing, at first I thought, wow, did Tyler Perry write for this character to come back, who doesn't really have any reason to come back since him and Jill Scott got divorced? But is he only here to cause and stir up shit and start the drama, cause the drama? Because I thought that would be the only drama going on. But the twist and forced ass turns that happen with the Mike character, I don't know. I'm not going to say that having the actor back was bad because I don't mind the actor. I think he does a decent job. And there were points where he had probably the most charisma or the most energy, even though he was kind of being a dick at times. But Jill Scott and her husband, the former sheriff, played by Layman Rucker, their whole issue is that because they moved and he's no longer the sheriff, he's struggling to get a job. He can't find a job. Nobody will hire him. So he starts being a dick to Jill Scott. And I'm like, really? We watched Jill Scott already go through a bad marriage where her husband was treating her bad. And she got out of that. And she found a good guy. Now you're going to have the new good guy treat her bad? Fucking hell, I don't want to see this. I don't want to sit through another bad Jill Scott relationship. I don't. I mean, I understand that the guy is having more of his pride and insecurity issues, and he's worried about how are they going to pay for their houses, and they just had a son, and so like I get why he's closed off and shutting down, but fucking hell, compiled with everything else and all of these other bad relationships going on, it was brutal. And speaking of that, this movie is 2 hours, almost exactly on the dot long. And there was so many scenes that I was sitting here getting bored, hoping that this went quicker, especially one scene where Cicely Tyson just randomly shows up with whoever her husband's supposed to be. And there's a scene where they all gather around and all the other characters are talking about, hey, this is where we talk about why we married the other person, because it's fun and it's whatever. But they don't even know Cicely Tyson's character. She just wandered onto the beach with her husband, met them, and she's given her story of how they met. And I'm like, we don't know those characters. Why are we wasting 10 minutes on this bullshit? Let's wrap this shit up, B. This could be an hour and a half, probably really an hour, if we trim the fat with all of this bullshit. And Janet Jackson, I did not talk about Janet Jackson yet. And I guess in the first movie, Janet Jackson was more of the straight lace. She was the psychologist, she wrote the books, and she's the one who gives relationship advice. And yeah, her and her husband had issues in the first movie that I thought they were going to try to deal with and get past. Cut to this movie where, no, they're getting divorced. And they go through one of the roughest divorces, especially because Janet Jackson spends the first half of the movie being that same calm person that's trying to just get through it until her husband does something that pisses her off. And she goes from 0 to 1,000,000. I mean, the level of crazy that she goes, I get too, because he was being a complete asshole. But Janet Jackson loses her fucking mind. Destroying stuff, throwing glass. Like, I've never seen Janet Jackson act like this ever. And it was odd. It was weird, especially for how long it goes on for. It's uncomfortable. Tyler Perry just said, let me see how far I can push my actors. How crazy can I get them to be? And I have to mention this because I'm about to end this review. I've talked enough about the foolishness, the black foolishness that is going on. I've said before that I respect Tyler Perry for getting these black actors work, but when it's sort of bullshit like this, it makes me go, is it a good thing? But the ending of this movie, what happens with Janet Jackson's husband, or what happens to him? Moving on from that, the very end of the film where she gets introduced to somebody new that she could potentially date, and it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I had the biggest, what the fuck? Like, how random of a cameo could you get? And this was before The Rock was like huge, jacked up, ginormous, Hulk size Rock. So it was almost odd to go back and see him smaller. But was he setting up a third movie? Well, thank God that never happened, because I think even The Rock deserves better than to be in some bullshit Tyler Perry shit like this. Goddamn. This was wild, guys. I know some people warned me that the second movie was crazier, but I still did not expect this. I still don't know how to feel fully about this. Fucking hell, Perry. I'm about to stop. For my sanity, I'm about to stop the Tyler Perry watches because I don't know if I could continue. Who would have known that his Medea movies would be more toned down and tame compared to this other shit? God damn. Let me know in the comments below if you too saw Why Did I Get Married 2? This makes me never want to get married ever. Fuck. I feel like I've gone through 5 divorces after this. Alright. Later.
Time's changing quickly for me and you. The future's come, it's come for you. The moment upon your very eyes. The life around you are hypnotized. I take my thousands 144. Hands spread wide open, line up the floor. The things come fast from here on out. No more delay or benefit in doubt. The prophecies, they talked in this time. I've been waiting patiently to bust.